Hi, I'm Christine Page, Executive Director of the St. Petersburg Shuffleboard Club.
And I'm Stephanie Swain, President of the club.
And welcome to today's edition of Between Two Palms.
Christine, this is the Royal Palms pre-game show for the 40th ISA World Championship.
Okay, I mean, I heard we had a special guest today, so I thought we could do a little Galifianakis style interview.
I enjoy that creative expression. Can we please be a little nicer to our guest?
I mean, okay, it depends who is it.
That's fair. There's some people that I wouldn't mind being a little Galifianakis style towards. Well, so I'll tell you, I know her and you know her, and we've spent at least one hurricane together with her.
Is it Tara? Because she's out volunteering and she's really busy right now.
No, but that would have been a great idea too.
Okay.
It's actually Mary Eldridge.
Oh, fun. Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
so she is going to give us some tips for shuffleboard players and tell us a little bit about St. Pete history.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, she's beloved here at the St. Pete Club, and when she talks about shuffleboard, you should listen.
Absolutely.
Right. So speaking of talking about shuffleboard, just want to mention that the pregame show is sponsored by the Royal Palms Shuffleboard Club in Chicago and Brooklyn, and Royal Palms' very own Jonathan Schnapp, who is currently undefeated in this tournament, is going to tell us a little strategy. I believe today's topic is blocks and hides.
Oh, did it. Before we go there, I think we have some breaking news.
All right, what is it today? This is nice. This is great. So every year at the awards banquet is also the Hall of Fame banquet for the International Shuffleboard Association. So we have the list of the inductees for this year's banquet.
I'm excited to learn about this.
Doris Hankey, love her.
Lovely.
Halvard Flatlin,
Nice.
Norman Lindsay, Paolo Pavao, and Peter Davis. There you go. Oh, let's.
Christine,
What?
you seem to have forgotten somebody on this list.
I don't think so.
I'm sure you did. It's actually you. You're getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this year as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's nice. It's an honor. It really is. I'm embarrassed now, but thank you. All right, let's just take it away, Jonathan.
All right, everybody, we're back with more shuffleboard strategy advice right here in St. Pete, and today's lesson is all about St. Pete's and Tampa's. These are the blocks that we use in shuffleboard, and they're named for these historic towns where the game was born. The idea of this shuffleboard strategy advice is a score without a block doesn't do you any good. If I just toss up an 8, you're just gonna knock it out. And then we're pretty much in this place that we call push and giggle. Push and giggle doesn't do you much good. I toss up an 8, you knock it out, I knock you out, you knock me out, we're kind of nowhere. So the only thing that's worth anything is a score with a block, all right? But how do you ever get a score with a block if the moment you put up the score, they knock you out? And the answer is you put up a block first and then you hide behind it. There are 2 different types of blocks in shuffleboard, and one of them is on your opponent's side of the board. That's called a St. Pete. So here's an example of a St. Pete. That's a pretty good one. Wow, you guys impressed with that? That's pretty good. All right, so the idea here is that if you don't knock that out, all right, I'm gonna shoot all the way from the outside, what we know as the 4 spot, all right? The 1 spot, the 2 spot, the 3 spot, the 4 spot. Shoot all the way from the outside and try to tuck it behind that disc. Perfect. Now the idea here is because black is not able to come onto yellow's side of the court to shoot, yellow winds up with a score with a block, all right? And if I get it right, black will not be able to see it and it'll be hidden behind my St. Pete block. So the other type of block is called a Tampa pilot. And that pilot exists on my side of the board at the tip of the 10. Just barely on my side of the board. Here's a good example of a Tampa pilot, all right? Just at the tip of the 10, barely on my side of the board. And once again, if black doesn't knock that out, yellow shoots all the way from the outside and hides behind that disc. Okay? So The Tampa pilot, the St. Pete pilot, which one do you use when and why? Generally, we find that a St. Pete pilot is a much less risky shot to shoot. The reason being, if you miss your St. Pete a little bit too far towards the alley, no big deal. You just have less room to hide behind it. But look what happens if you miss a Tampa. Let's just say that black is trying to put up a Tampa on its side of the board. That's a perfect one right there, okay? If black misses it one disc length, 6 inches in that direction, he winds up giving yellow a St. Pete. And if black misses it 6 inches in this direction, he winds up giving yellow a Tampa. So there's a bunch of different reasons why you might choose to put up a Tampa or a St. Pete, but I would say that until you get the drift of the court right and the speed of the court right and you feel really comfortable, for a beginner, it makes a lot of sense to start with St. Pete's because they're much more forgiving. This is when the game becomes fun. You know what I mean? This is when you're playing shuffleboard for real, is putting up blocks and then trying to hide behind those blocks. And the game becomes really, really fun when you're starting to play with this level of strategy. So that's a little bit about St. Pete's and Tampas. Have fun out there, everybody. Good luck to all the players.
All right, well, that was some really good advice from Jonathan, and I am so excited. I wore my fan club t-shirt because we have Mary Eldridge here with us today. Mary, welcome to the pregame show.
Thank you, I'm very happy to be here.
Good, well, we're very excited to have you. So for everybody watching along, if they're St. Pete members, they probably know who you are, but for everyone else, can I ask you, who are you? Why did we ask you to come on the show with us today?
Well, probably because you wanted a shuffleboard winner.
That's right.
Who likes to win.
Yes, and if we know anything.
And knows how to win. And if you would like to play a game sometime, I'd be glad to play with you.
I've played you. You've beaten me a few times, I think.
Well.
So when did you become a member at St. Pete?
In May of 1965.
So we're going on almost 60 years of membership here.
It's the previous century. Few people today are members from the previous century.
And you told me at one point you moved to St. Pete specifically to play shuffleboard.
Right, because I moved from New York to Sebring, and my neighbor said, "You want to go and play shuffleboard?" And I said, "Well, what is that?" And he said, "Come on." So we went and we played, and I immediately loved it. And he said, "Well, if you really want to be a player, you have to go to St. Pete, because that's where all the top players are." So I moved over because I wanted to play better.
Well, and when you were learning how to play, how long do you think it took you to really master the game?
Well, I went from May of 65 to April of 69, 4 years, and won the Masters. And won the national doubles. I won several tournaments in that 4-year period.
And I've been flipping through some history books about shuffleboard this week to prepare for this show, and I see a couple names mentioned consistently. May Hall's and Mary Eldridge's are always peppered in the history of shuffleboard.
Well, we were partners, and she was the top player and always has been the best player in the women's division ever. And the very first doubles that I won was the national doubles with May Hall.
When was that? Do you remember?
It was either in, I think it was 1968.
Wow. How many? Can you tell me how many people played in that tournament? Was it a lot or?
Let's see. We had either a 64 bracket. I think it was a 64 bracket for the women's division, and for the men's. Yeah, we had big tournaments. A lot of times you didn't get to play your first match until maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of sitting around. So since the 60s when you joined, I know you used to be president of the club, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then I know our membership took a little bit of a dive in the 80s and 90s.
We took quite a dive.
You want to tell us a little bit about that and kind of the turnaround of that?
Okay. When I first joined in 65, the membership was about 3,000.
Wow.
And I continued playing until about 1980, and then I decided to take a break, and I took 10 years off, moved up to New York State, and when I came back, the membership was down to almost 100. And I wondered what in the wide, wide world has happened here, you know. So we went along, and I started playing again. So that was in 1991, and I played 3 or 4 more years, and then I took some time off, and then our president decided to leave, and no other players, no other members would become president. So I said, well, we have to do something. If we don't do something, this place could be repurposed into some other endeavor.
Right.
And I didn't like that because I like shuffleboard, and I wanted to see it keep its normal activities.
I read an article that said that the desk was in the old office, and you had a sign on the front of it. What did that sign say?
That said, evolve or dissolve. If you do not change something, you're going to evaporate. You're going to be gone.
Yeah.
So I said, we'll try something, try anything. So we did. We kept trying, and finally something took a hold, and Chris Kelly and several others came in. They were from the Historical Society, and got things going, and we would go over to City Hall and have meetings with the city, and we took our cues and marched over there and with our cues and everything, and put on a show over there. And we started I became president in '98. We started the St. Pete Shuffle in '05.
The Friday Night Shuffle?
The Friday Night Shuffle in '05. So from '98 to '05 was kind of a struggle, not knowing where the future was going to lead us.
Right.
You know. So then we started the shuffle, and the very first night we had 28 people came, and somebody said, "Oh, you only had 28 people." I said, "Wait a minute. We had 28 times the number of people we had last week.
That's right.
You have to be positive." And I was always positive. So everything kind of just slowly went up, bloom, bloom, bloom. And when the general public found out that the club was here, one of the main things we had to do was to make people aware of the club, the general public, and to invite them and to show them, you know, you kind of have fun, and everybody's friendly and everything like that.
Do you know how many members we have now?
Oh, I know we have at least 2,600.
That's right. We're back up.
Which I think is wonderful. I think the Christine and the board has done a fabulous job.
Well, I think you're a huge part of that, because I know I see you out here every Friday night teaching people how to play.
Well, I've taught a lot of beginners, and to me it just I know more about professional football than most people do coming in knowing about shuffleboard. So we have to start them nice and easy, learn how to shoot, because if you can't shoot, you're not going to make scores and have fun, because if you can make scores, you can win. If you can win, you can have fun. So at first you learn to shoot, and you learn how to use the equipment and how to keep score. And for beginners, that's a good start.
Right, so you have to make sure you're getting your discs into points before you really focus on some of that strategy.
Well, you have to be able to shoot, yes, because you cannot implement strategy without some kind of accuracy.
Yep.
And then you let beginners play with beginners, so they're about equal, and so everybody has a chance to win. And we just go from there, and if they have questions about strategy, then you answer all those questions. So.
Well, do you have any tips that you want to share with the people watching?
Beginners?
How about beginners, intermediate, anybody actually?
Well, the main thing is when you're playing in the game, you have 3 jobs to do if you want to win. 1, you have to make points for your side. You have to get points up on that scoreboard. 2, you have to protect those points. If you can't protect them, you know, this is a game which is not like other games. Just because you have points on the scoreboard doesn't mean you're going to keep them.
Right.
So 2, you protect those points, and 3, prevent your opponent from making points.
Yeah.
Whatever you have to do, whatever shot you have to make, make sure you're doing one of your jobs.
Right.
So
I always tell people when they first start playing, shuffleboard's a game for nice people, but don't be nice on the court.
yeah, you got to be. You're there to win. Anytime you're keeping score with something, it matters who wins because there will be a winner and a loser.
Right.
So it's more fun to be on the winner's side. You can't win all the time. Nobody can win all the time. So, but it's nice to win your share. I always say, try to win at least your share.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to share with us?
Well, nothing I can think of at the moment.
I think we've had a good conversation. I learned a lot about St. Pete history.
Yeah.
I learned about your top tips, which I need to write down. I think I know all of those, but I need to remember them every time I'm playing.
Well, there's a lot of tips.
Yeah.
Those are just beginners.
Beginners
For
tips?
beginners tips, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a beginner, someone who's been playing a little while, just to keep those in mind. There's a whole lot more if you're planning to play in the pro division, because now it gets serious.
Yeah, and I told you earlier, we've been joking all week that we're not professional shuffleboard players, we're just shuffleboard professionals.
Yes.
So I was so happy to bring a professional shuffleboard player onto the pregame show to give us some information.
Well, I'm very happy that you did invite me, and I'm glad to have been here.
Yay.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you, Mary.
Thank
for
you.
now, I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
And we are going to go to Ashley to talk to one of our players in match 1. I don't know
Okay.
if you are going to be able to watch it, but we have Clayton Taylor from the St. Pete Club. I think you know him.
Oh, yes, I do.
And Paul Assad from Brooklyn. They are going to be duking it out to see who gets to go into the semifinals. So let's go to the court and see if we
Okay.
can hear from Clayton.
Okay.
I'm here with Clayton Taylor. Clayton, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good today. Yeah.
Yeah, you are currently undefeated, and you're playing Paul Assad, also undefeated. This is a do-or-die match for you. Have you played Paul before?
I have played Paul one time. It was in the 2020 Can-Am tournament, I believe. We were going for 7th and 8th, and he beat me.
And he beat him. Okay, well, how are you feeling today? Has your game improved since 2020?
Yes, I think it has improved quite a bit. So I'm hoping to get some revenge.
I love it. I'm really trying to work in some grudge matches here. Everybody's so nice in shuffleboard. We really need a little bit of some villains along the way. Perhaps you can be our villain.
That works. Or he can be the villain. Either way, I'm cool with whichever role.
Well, we are excited to see what you've got going for us today. And either way, great luck in the tournament.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Christine and Stephanie. I'm here with Paul Assad from Royal Palms, Brooklyn. How are you doing, Paul?
Hanging in there. Definitely nervous, but excited to be there. Yeah.
And I think you know what the stakes are. You're about to play Clayton Taylor. You're both undefeated. You're both in the same group. Only one can move on. Do you think it's going to be you?
I don't know. Clayton's been playing really well this whole week. I've been playing pretty well, but I think it's easy to know your own mistakes, and so I'm just hoping that I can try to hold it together, and if I can get a lead, I can hold it.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to seeing you play. Many years ago, I guess, at the Can-Am, you were like a young upstart. You came out of nowhere. We didn't know. We were like, Paul Assad, oh my gosh, he's in the finals? So, and you've just turned into such a formidable player. It's exciting to see you come to spar, and I know we're going to see a lot more of you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Okay, great luck out there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ashley. The women's game that we're highlighting today is Irene Hofsman versus Ali Enos. Stephanie, what can you tell us about these players?
So this should be a really good match. Irene is the reigning European Women's Champion, and Ali frequently attends the Florida State Masters and is a Hall of Famer for the FSA, the U.S. National Shuffleboard Association, and the ISA. So I'm excited to see what this game brings us.
Sounds like it's going to be a great match. All right. Over to you, Ashley.
Thanks, Christine and Stephanie. I am here with Ali Enos. Ali, are you aware of the fact that people are actually afraid of you?
Some have told me that. I tell them, don't worry, any given day, we can either be on or off. Just to do your best and don't give up.
And how are you feeling today? Are you feeling on?
I feel good. I am not going to say anything different because the opponents might think, oh, she's down.
Got it. So it's a psychological game for you.
Evans, yes. Oh, yeah.
And do you feel that it's more strategy than skill?
It's strategy and skill. It's a combination. And concentration. You've really got to concentrate on your game.
Well, I know that you have what it takes to win, and I'm excited to watch you do it.
Thank you.
Great luck out there.
All right, thanks.
I am here with Irene Hoffmans from Germany. Good morning, Irene. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good today. It is all fine. I've slept well, and I won a game today. It's fine.
Okay, and what is your record now? How have you done throughout the tournament?
I had in this round 3 win, one, win. And I must now play against Ali, and she's a really hard player. I've played against her some years ago when she has been at the end world champion. And I learned many from her at this game. It's another thing to do it at the end if you know what you do, but I will try it.
And what number ISA is this for you?
What number?
Yeah. What number ISA is this for you?
It is 11th time, yes.
I think you've got some knowledge in there, I think. I'm looking forward to seeing the match. Great luck to you.
Thank you, bye-bye.
All right, well, let's just go to the games then.
Hi, Shufflers. I'm Ashley Albert from the Royal Palms, here with Jim Allen from St. Pete. We are here at the 40th Annual ISA International World Championships of Shuffleboard. It has already been a great day.
And we've got 2 outstanding matches to broadcast today. Ali Enos from the USA at the head of the court, and she's playing Irene Hoffman from Germany.
And they've already begun their game. Looks like Irene's already on the ropes here. She's in the kitchen. Ali's got 2 on the board. Came out strong. Irene.
And look at this shot here. Look at this shot here. That's why Irene is a past German Shuffleboard Association champion.
Yeah, both of them. I mean, Irene's got the hammer. Ali's got a disc to try to do something with.
Right now you have 2 discs in the kitchen. Irene just took control of that frame because Ali with a very effective high 10.
High 10 that's in.
Irene's got to get that out. There's no room for her to stay.
Nope. And Ali's thinking, I'll steal her hammer. I'll take that 10 because it's neutralized.
And that black disc behind could be used. She could bump this yellow disc to the black disc and score an 8.
Interesting, but if she does it too soft, she could also give the yellow disc some points there.
She's taking her time.
She's going for a soft bump. Oh.
But she did what she had to do, which was clear the disc.
Yep. And interesting, she couldn't go for a hard razzle-dazzle shot to try to get herself out of the kitchen because she wanted to leave Ali in there too.
She might wind up taking Ali out. So
right.
This early in the game, probably a conservative move.
Although that opening frame, not a conservative frame by any stretch. They both came out guns a-blazing. On the other side, this is a breathtaker of a match. We've got Clayton Taylor, who we saw earlier this week, playing Paul Assad. Clayton is Allison Taylor, previous president of the St. Pete Shuffleboard Club's brother. And then Paul Assad is from Royal Palms, Brooklyn, one of our best players. They are both undefeated. They're in the same group. Only one of them will move ahead. So this is a do-or-die match for them.
And we're going to see these 2 players a lot in the coming years.
Absolutely. These are real up-and-coming players. Definitely future Hall of Famers. It's exciting to see them advancing. Now he's got to touch that lag line, and he does.
Just from the first frame, we've seen 2 different styles of play. On the head, the ladies were playing the board. Mm-hmm. On the foot here, it's a much more clear game.
Yeah.
2 different strategies. We'll see how effective each are.
Well, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the ladies respond on the next frame after getting themselves into trouble on the board
Yes,
so early on. They may adjust as well.
that's very true. They could say, you know what,
Right.
she's a kitchen player. I better be careful.
Yep. And understand the skill that they're facing. They've played before. No, doesn't
Paul-
quite make it.
Paul played that drift perfectly, but just came up an inch
needed
or two
a little more
short.
macho. Just a little more macho on that would have done the trick.
So one more after the first frame.
Yep.
We've got a tie on each side.
Yep. But already some good shuffleboard.
Already
You
some
know,
good
it's
shots.
like we're in frame 2, and I'm feeling pretty impressed about the whole thing. Irene was telling me that she's having a problem with the breezy, air-conditioned climate of the rooms. The German players do not like the air conditioning. I love the air conditioning.
Well, Irene plays on a polycourts. The German players traditionally play on what we call polycourts, a snap-together portable court.
And they're waffle. They're sort of waffly, right? Waffle textured.
They have a texture to them, and they're generally considered a slower court than what the beaded concrete court here.
This
She's
is
made
her-
the adjustment so well.
Yeah, I mean, this is her 11th ISA, and I think really a skill that is underrated in these tournaments is every year readjusting to the court conditions of that year's host city.
And we're seeing people who have won before or played on winning teams rising to the top. And
Yeah.
I think that experience, they're drawing it on all that experience to advance further here in St. Petersburg, Florida.
And I used to joke that because I didn't practice very much, I was really good at the World Championships because I wasn't used to playing on any courts. That was my secret weapon. Don't practice, kids. It's one way to do it.
Allie's blocking that board.
Staying
Irene
on there.
cannot use the hammer. She may try to bump her black disc, but that's very risky.
Because she could just very easily put Allie somewhere. She's trying to clear that,
She
put it in
chooses
the
to
kitchen.
clear it
and
and
I think
stick.
she takes that 10, and that's a nice shot because this is Allie's hammer.
Sure, Allie, you know, if she's too far to the right, she'll clip the block.
Yep. Or she just doesn't go hard enough and gives her a 10, or puts her in the
Or
kitchen.
she just makes it a
Or gives her-
miraculous shot and sticks her own 10.
Wow. Is that a good 10? Oh, Paul Assad's going to check, looking from the top. We've talked about this a couple of times. You've
call
got to
it
be
no
able to
good.
see
And
over the top.
Through this tournament, you'll notice that the person who's playing black is the one that checks the disc first.
Yep. And then if they are not sure, then the second player, the yellow player, will come take a look. And if they're not sure, or if the player who made the shot would like a third opinion, they'll call in the tournament director.
We see Paul going with a hide. Clayton, who has all week I've watched him, he clears so effectively.
And we've seen time and time again how your clearing game cannot be underrated. That people think it's just about getting rid of the other disc, but so often it's about clearing both discs and not sticking. And that is a skill that requires as much practice as shooting.
It does. And the whole goal of clearing is not just to take the other disc off, but to take your disc off the court so it can't be used.
Yep. Hall putting up another St. Pete. Hoping that Clayton
Three
will stick.
perfect clears.
And again, this is the classic shuffleboard game, strategy 101. Clear the board, score your hammer. Don't leave anything on there. No discs of yours, no discs of theirs, so that when it's your time to take your hammer shot, you've got a wide open board. Paul did, we got to think of a name for this thing. So is it the Rudolph? Where you just put it right on the tip, just on the nose of the triangle, and cut down the board.
I don't remember the black-nosed reindeer.
Maybe it's the Dasher. You know what I mean. It looks like a reindeer to me.
And Clayton now with a classic frame that Clayton played. Clear, 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 score your 8, He's happy with the result.
Yep. Slow and
And
steady.
takes an early 8-point lead.
Yep. Taking those 8s one at a time isn't sexy, but it'll get the job done. Maybe it's sexy. I guess it depends on who's throwing that 8. In this case, sexy, obviously. Clayton Taylor, clearly.
Allie Ean is no stranger to the ISA. Won the Golden Q back in 2015 in Clearwater.
Yeah, yeah.
She was victorious.
And-
Our first Fred Durst,
Bye, Allie. Hate to see it.
the Limp Bizkit.
I'm aware it is a Limp Bizkit. Gone. Flung off.
Eileen takes advantage of that, and she in turn sets up her own St. Pete. So
Yep.
she goes a little bit on the offensive here.
Allie's not interested in leaving that on the board, but she sticks, which
and
is
and
a
this
rare
is what
mistake.
Irene was looking for.
Yep, hoping
She's
for an opening.
Hoping for an opening. She's looking at the angle that Allie will have to shoot from.
Yep,
So if you notice now, instead of shooting from the one position close to the middle line, she's all the way on the corner trying to get the best angle.
yep, to just go on the diagonal and get deep behind it doesn't quite get there. If it had continued going, you'd see it would end up in that in the 7 right in the corner. That's where she wants it, a little more behind that disc. Allie going on the board.
Interesting. Now Irene's got a couple thoughts in her mind. Do I take the yellow off there? Do I
Do I
bump
bump?
the black?
Right, the yellow is set up for a double, a nice double. And when you're playing a good player, you don't want to give them an opportunity. This is a little soft for my taste, but does the trick. And we're back playing on the board here, which makes it interesting. You know,
We're
it's-
seeing a lot of discs that are still out there.
Allie's gonna come in. Again, neither one of them are playing a particularly aggressive. Oh,
Allie did score her own
she
8.
did,
It's a
but she
pretty-
almost put herself in the kitchen.
It was very close. Pretty high 8.
Yep.
This is interesting because Irene, if she knocks that out, could bump that black disc in, but it also could score Allie.
Yep, and it could put her in the kitchen if things go, depending on where she hits that yellow one and where the black one hits. There's a lot of room for glory and defeat here. Okay, nice angle.
Oh, that's just
Yeah,
a beautiful
beautiful
shot.
shot.
Not only does she clear the 8, but she rolls into the other side to give herself an 8-point advantage on her hammer.
That was great to see, really great. This is going to be a good game. I can feel it. While we're here, let's do a couple of shout outs.
Why not?
I'm going to do one from Jeff Ziev and Missy Keiko. I'm trying to get Missy to have a nickname that sticks. Yesterday I was trying Golden Widow. Now I'm going with Golden Hornet. They say, cheers to the Golden Tangs, the greatest shuffleboard team in the history of shuffleboard or teams. Check out team members Jeff and Missy's Etsy merch store, Good Shuffling, and also watch Jeff's Shuffleboard Strategy YouTube channel, Brooklyn Shuffleboard. They rule, says Jeff and Missy about Jeff and Missy. Jeff makes a mug every year of himself holding a mug of himself, holding a mug of himself, and he always gives one to the Royal Palms. We have them behind the bar in Brooklyn.
I've watched his YouTube channel many times, and I encourage people to watch it because you can, not only is it entertaining,
Yeah.
but you can learn a lot from watching the players,
Yeah.
seeing what they do, what positions they put themselves in. Paul going to the board here, even though he has the hammer.
He's saying, let's play a little risky, try to throw him off his clearing game.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think he's trying to, Clayton will have the rhythm down.
And then,
He's hoping
exactly.
for a mistake, and I'm not sure
Ooh,
if this is hard
is he
enough.
gonna,
And he got the
No.
mistake he was looking for.
yeah, and he's got the hammer now. He can,
I believe that the yellow disc rolled onto the line.
yep, not
Paul's
scoring.
disc is a good 7.
Yep. Risky, because it could have just gone a few more inches and ruined his day. But now he's going to go, not mess with it, try to score. Interesting
he's
going down that
going for
side,
the
going for the
jugular, and that's-
kitchen, and that was a mistake. However, then he ended up with just a 7 there because he neutralized his other 7.
Yeah,
by giving
that's
Clayton a
scores for
7.
that frame. You always do yellow first.
Yep.
7, 14 on that frame.
But in the end, ultimately a 7 for Paul because he gave one of those 7s away.
This is our 4th day of broadcasting, and you just do have the feel that this match on both ends is just going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, it's a
have that
high
feel,
stakes
doesn't it?
match.
It
It
just-
really does. And you know, we talked about this earlier this morning. It's a lot of endurance. This is a lot of shuffleboard. It's from early in the morning until late in the afternoon, and then everybody somehow ends up at the bar. I don't know how they're playing. After we were having painkillers last night, and I'm feeling no pain.
We call it aiming fluid.
Yeah, well, they're really loading up on it, and it's doing the trick. Aiming fluid. That's
Allie
good.
Enos doesn't need any aiming fluid at all.
Nope.
She is a Hall of Fame member. She was inducted into the ISA Hall of Fame in Vienna, Austria. What an
Yeah,
honor.
I was there.
She's been in the FSA Hall of Fame and the National Hall of Fame.
Wow. She's a triple Hall of Famer.
She-
She's a Halls of Fame. She's in the Halls of Fame.
Halls of Famers.
And she goes to bed early. I said, did you go out partying last night? And she said, oh, no. She said, I did go by the pool, so I got to bed late at 9 or 10. She said, very late for me. Usually she goes to bed at 8:30, so.
I understand her husband Andy's quite a cook and a chef, and she enjoys all the food.
And they just celebrated their 65th wedding anniversary. 65th. She's got like 4 kids and 8 grandkids and 7 great-grandkids. She got a whole brood of tiny Enos, tiny little shuffleboard players in the making.
And still has more energy than the majority of the players out here.
Yeah, just
Kudos to Alice.
just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Okay, here she goes. Let's see if she can nail that hammer. I think she can.
If she gets the speed down,
She's,
and she slides a
yep.
7 in there,
She'll take it.
she'll take it.
You got to get that hammer, and she
Towards the
does.
hammer.
Back to the guys. Now, there's been talk that this match between Allie and Irene could be a preview of something that happens in the semifinals or the finals, as opposed to Paul and Clayton, who one of them will move forward and one of them will stay back, depending on who wins this match. Is that true?
That's exactly true. One of these, the winner of this match, will advance to the final 4. And
Got
they'll be
it.
in the semis.
And the other one will stay in the back 4. Still top 8.
They'll be shooting for 5 to 8.
Right. Still
Fourth place.
not too shabby either way, especially for these 2 young players. But it'd be nice to be in the top 4.
We see Paul adjusting a little bit. He's been more effective. Interesting. I'm looking at the scoreboard. We keep talking about how this is going to come down. Both matches are 1 point.
Trading, right.
1
point
on
away.
each way. On the
And
head,
we've-
1 point on the foot.
We said that before. You can get down to the wire, and it's that 1 point that pushes you over the top. So,
Right. It could be an 8 versus a 7.
yeah.
Paul's studying this pretty good. He may try for a kitchen.
He does look like he's going for a slower shot here. Not slow enough.
Clayton with the hammer will probably go back to his clearing game.
Yeah, just get it off the board.
He has
Not
no,
give him a chance for anything. Ooh, sticks. One more chance for Paul to
but
kitchen.
that rolled into a high 10. Let's see, did they call it good or no?
Oh, coming out to check.
Irene, being the black disc, she does check it.
Right. Allie on yellow is in charge of the scoreboard.
Okay, she
Everybody's
calls
got
it
a
no
job.
good, so Paul has the opportunity. He's allowed to look to ask for a second call, and he's taking that opportunity.
Which lets us know he may not want to mess with it. He may just want to score down the other side.
And he might also be looking to see how much room was to the right of it. But I think he'll play to the right of this and try for the 8.
Yeah, I mean that's the safe move, right? Doesn't need too much of a hot shot. Oh no, he's going for the kitchen.
Oh, he was looking to see if there was 6 inches there,
Yeah.
which there was. But he
not
hit
enough.
the disc on the right-hand side.
And now Clayton, again, these are his home courts. He plays here at St. Pete,
He's been so effective with those 8s.
and he's
He doesn't.
on the line.
Oh, he does disappoint himself.
That hurts, especially in a game like this when you're going tit for tat.
Absolutely. It remains a 1-point margin.
Yeah.
So after 4 frames, we have a -3, -2 score on the head and a 15-14 score on the foot.
I'll do a quick shout out from Clayton's sister, Allison Taylor. Best of luck, Clayton, from your family. Your daughter says, go get them, but have fun too. Also, big thanks to everyone for making this week possible and all of the shufflers keeping our sport alive. There's just so much pride, I think, and ownership over shuffleboard by so many of these players who really feel connected to the game in a different way than being on a softball team or
Allison Taylor,
like
no
that.
stranger to the St. Pete Shuffleboard Club.
was the president, past president.
She is a past president of this club and one of the people who have, along with many, many, who have turned this club into the dominating club that it is.
A beacon of shuffleboard, future and past and future, and present also.
All three. All three.
All
We'll
three
go
of
for the
those.
whole trifecta.
Okay, it's an interesting thing here. Allie is just trying to block up the board, knowing that Irene's probably not going to mess with those to clear them. And she'll just try to leave her with very little to work with when she has her hammer. Now she can take that Tampa. Looks like she's, oh no.
I think she's going to
no,
try to
she's
use
gonna
that little
go
wall over there. This is a very
yes.
dangerous shot, but that's why she's a champion.
That was scrumptious.
That was
That was
yes.
scrum-diddly-umptious,
Right.
as they say.
And
It was a Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka. Irene is thinking hard to get that, but I think in the long run she will just score.
Yeah.
Too
Seems
early.
like a fool's errand to go after something that you 100% can't see. Oh,
and she comes up
misses it.
short,
Allie
so
steals the hammer. Powerful Wonka.
still within a one-disc game.
Yeah.
The competitors, as we have seen all week, will go 8 frames on one color.
Yep.
Then they would switch and play 8 frames on the other color.
And every game we've seen is the black discs are favored. So we expect the players playing the black discs to have a bit of an advantage early on, and then their opponents will have a chance to use them as well.
Good point. Good point. This court consistently has favored the black, as we've watched all week. Today on this match, it seems to be no difference.
Clayton was disappointed with that shot.
It's a little too deep. That allows Paul the chance to
Stick
and
kitchen.
he'll definitely try for the kitchen, because if you get the kitchen, you have a block as well as a kitchen.
Yep. And you've got a disc that needs to be shot out before you deal with your kitchen.
Yes.
Oh, going for the bump. Didn't get there.
Played a little too much break. This court in the middle doesn't break very much, but as the further you get to that right, the further you get to the rail, the more break it has.
Yeah, it swoops around. Puts up a very nice St. Pete. Again, he plays here in St. Petersburg. He's on a team, like a sinister sounding, the Shuffling Underground, I think they're called. And Paul's team, the two of them are always the bridesmaids. They are always coming in second. They're always in the finals, and yet never get the brass ring. So it'd be nice to see one of them go for the gold here.
Paul is, interesting enough, he's shooting from the 4 position on his hammer.
Yeah, he doesn't have to hide.
He has to be careful of the drift. He doesn't want to go into that center line.
Sure doesn't, definitely doesn't want to bump Clayton. That's nice. To get there. No good. Well, that is a relief for Clayton.
Keeps it a 1-point game.
Keeps it a 1-point game, which is what you're looking for. Let's do a shout out from Teddy and Sammy Waffles to Teddy and Sammy Waffles. Teddy is one of the people who makes this broadcast possible. He is just a great guy and a great shuffler in his own right. And then his wife, Sammy, is competing and just hilarious and beloved.
And I learned something about them this week.
Yeah?
I always thought their last name was Waffles. But it's a play on the word waffles.
Yes, right, because I think people can't pronounce that.
Yeah.
And so they go with waffles. And the way we got to Teddy Waffles was that he reached out to me on Instagram when we were building the club. And he said, I make videos and I'd love to talk to you guys and I'm so excited you're coming. And then he came and he joined the league and he is such an integral part of the Royal Palms community now.
Isn't it so interesting to hear how people find out about the sport?
Yeah.
And once they do get involved, they get hooked.
That's what Clayton said. He said his sister brought him in and never would have guessed that he would be here today. Allie taking that Tampa, gonna hide behind it. We've talked about pilots before. That's the disc you hide behind. Most very experienced players open with some sort of a pilot. A Tampa's on your side, a St. Pete's on the opposite side. They put that up and then they try to hide behind it if their opponent doesn't knock it out.
Irene is studying her options. She's getting ready to shoot. Oh, she changes her mind.
Oh.
She's going for a kitchen.
Didn't get there.
But she is effective in blocking that side of the board, and
Yeah.
with Alice having the hammer.
And also doesn't give Allie a chance to bump, which she knows she's capable of. She's gonna do-re-mi this one. Oh,
Oh my gosh.
what a wonka.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, that was incredible.
I'm at a loss for words of how good a shot that was.
That was amazing. Okay, Irene, do you think she just scores here on the other side? Or blocks up the board?
I
Oh
think
no,
she's
she's
trying
gonna
to
go try to.
bounce off the other.
Oh. Okay, that was a valiant attempt, but
Valiant attempt, but it leaves Allie an opportunity to score 2 discs.
yep, and that's deadly. And Allie's got what it takes. Let's see if she makes it happen here. Oh, she's moving a little. Does she bounce it in? She doesn't. Okay, that's
Irene
a lucky
dodged a
break.
little bullet.
A little bit of luck.
Dodged the bullet.
Just one score on Allie's hammer. But what a score it was.
Should we do another shot?
Oh, I think we definitely should.
Beachside Social. It's an ocean liner inspired shuffleboard bar located in the Virginia Beach, Virginia, with views of the Atlantic Ocean. They have leagues on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I've been up there, and it is a gorgeous, not just a gorgeous city, gorgeous location, gorgeous club, and it's nice to see Virginia shuffleboard.
Yeah, it's nice to just see the sport spreading and really, becoming beloved by this younger generation.
Now there's a rare mistake by Clayton.
That Paul will absolutely try to take advantage of.
You can see him licking his chops from here.
I know, it's just like, oh, I can do this, I can do this. Let's see if he can, in fact, do this.
He is going to go for the kitchen and the stick.
Good speed.
He gets the stick.
Does not get the kitchen.
Does not get the
and
kitchen.
gives Clayton a chance to try that shot again. Oh, he's not bothering.
Clayton's
he's saying,
not
I'm
going to give him
clearing
the
it off.
opportunity. Yep,
Good luck to you,
he's
sir.
playing for his hammer.
I'm going to wait, which is tremendous restraint to do that. But as we've spoken about several times this week, you got to stay on your game. If you have a strategy, you can't let the other person bully you into playing their game instead.
And so far, I would say all 4 people that we're watching right now are doing exactly that.
That's right. They're playing their own game. Maybe possible, but oh yeah, we got it. Well, that was a relief.
Clayton likes that 8 on the right-hand side.
And again, these are his home courts. He's
Yeah.
used to playing on these courts. Paul plays at Royal Palms where we don't have beads. We got to push a little harder. So it takes an adjustment. But they've both been playing all week, several matches a day, and they've got that muscle memory down.
We're going into the 7th frame now.
And, you know, they'd switch discs after 8 frames. So even though the black is favored and Irene and Paul have it now, Allie and Clayton will have it next. And I'm not sure who's ahead here. We got Allie's ahead.
Allie's taking a 12 to a -2 lead.
And with Paul and Clayton,
Clayton has taken a 23 to a 14 lead.
interesting. So they've managed to dominate
On the yellow.
on the weak side. So that'll be not great news for their opponents when they make the switch. Ooh, Allie giving herself a St. Pete.
Let's see what Irene
I think
chooses
Irene's
to do.
clearing.
She's going to stay with the clear game.
Does not want to give Allie a chance to hide. She knows she's such a skilled player. It
And
would get her into trouble.
And Irene knows that she's down 14, but it's still her hammer.
Yep.
So if she can
said,
score an 8, she's only down 6. She's right there.
yep.
Another effective clear. Her
Yep.
disc goes off into the alley.
Playing the classic clear the board, score your hammer game. Leave nothing on the board. Not your disc, not their disc, no one's disc. And then at the very end, score. But Allie,
Allie put a tasty little snack out there for
she
her.
did. That is a delicious little Debbie. And
Let's see if Irene can take advantage of it. Her first responsibility is to get the disc out of 10,
but she's gonna hope to hit it directly enough to stick, and she doesn't.
and she clipped on
If
the
you
side.
come at it from an angle, both are gonna ricochet. You've got to really hit it straight on to
If she
replace
hits
it.
that dead on, she's got 10 points.
Yep, she just came at it from a little bit too far from the side.
So we're in the 7th frame here between Clayton and Paul. Clayton's got a 9-point advantage is all.
Yeah, and that is not comfortable enough against Paul Assad, to be
not at
sure.
all. And Paul has the hammer, so we could definitely see.
But Paul's going on the board. He knows he's behind, and he's not playing that restrained clearing game right now. He's baiting Clayton to come on, and Clayton is not taking the bait.
But see, Clayton tried to roll to the right,
Yep, and hide.
using that disc as a hide.
Yeah, just didn't quite work. If Paul does it again, I'll give Clayton another chance to try it. He's trying to give himself a place to hide, give himself an 8 instead.
Let's see if Clayton learns from the last one
Exactly,
and takes a little
adjusts.
pace off it.
No, he's just going to clear now. Oh, but he does it.
He does exactly what he
did
wanted to
exactly
do.
what he's supposed to do.
Rather than take the pace off of it, he
That's
just hit the disc a little more.
A little
Direct.
Yeah. And wow, is that a good lesson, right? Like if you see your opponent do something sneaky,
Yeah.
don't do the exact same thing a second time, or
Right.
they'll have learned from it the first time.
And that's
right.
exactly what
That's
Clayton
what happened. Yeah. Now Paul could see this, and he's going to try to do something cute with it,
did. And he rolls,
but in the wide open spot.
and he's basically saying, Clayton, can you do it again?
Yeah.
Can you hit that disc and roll
Right.
to the right?
Try it again.
Once again, Clayton.
And Clayton's
he's
going for
thinking
something
about
different. He's
kitchen.
going to kitchen. Doesn't get there. Leaves a disc for
Now
Paul
there's a
to aim
mistake.
for.
There is a mistake because not only did he not clear the board, but he pushed him from an 8 to a 7.
Oh, is that 7 good?
They called both good.
They called both good. Interesting. So does
Paul-
Paul not mess with that 8 and just score on the other side
I think
here?
Paul can hit the yellow disc on the right side, try to roll over and score himself. This would be a 2-disc frame for him.
If
that's
he
what he's
can- Yeah,
trying.
that's what he's trying for because we don't want him to.
And look at the
Oh,
roll. That's played brilliantly.
Beautiful. What a beautiful, beautiful frame for him. Wow. gorgeous.
Paul's got to have a little confidence after that shot.
Yep, yep. But again, he's playing on the black side, which is, we've already established, favored by this court. He's going to have a harder time potentially on the left, and we know that those opponents are going to get a shot at those black discs.
It's easy for us to see the shot here.
Yep.
And to say what should be made. The percentages of actually pulling that one off are low.
Yeah.
But
really
when you get
low.
a shot maker like Paul, the percentages increase a lot.
Well, we were saying that our games this week have been flawless. We haven't made a single mistake.
I have not lost. I'm
I
undefeated.
haven't lost either.
We're both undefeated. Wow. So this would be the last frame they would play on this color.
And
It's 12 for Allie with the yellow, 2 for Irene on the black.
And it's interesting. I think both players have enough reverence for the other that they don't feel that they can just play a clearing game. They've got to do some fancy moves there to muck it up and take an unusual lead versus just hammer for hammer.
Sure, but both ladies are past champions.
Yep.
Allie with the golden Q, Irene with the German team and High River. They won the championship. She is a past German champion.
And she came in third last year in Ingersoll.
So she's
And she was a gold medalist in High River with the German women's team.
I would say that's a formidable opponent.
I would say that. Okay.
She's really studying this shot.
Yeah, I mean, there's things that could go real right for her here. But she might not also want to mess with it.
It looks like she's going to be very aggressive and try to score behind the black block.
Uh-huh. Coming in. A little hot. Does she get there?
Beautiful shot.
Wow.
Beautiful. Look at how.
It just hidden in a bunch of ways. What does Allie do there? Does Allie try to double?
That's a gutsy shot. That was a gutsy shot.
Yeah. Allie's going to try to double here.
She's going to try to bump the
and
other
bump,
black.
double bump. Oh! Leaves Irene, almost gives herself a kitchen. Doesn't, but that's a heart stopper.
That could have gone real south for Allie.
Real south. Allie got lucky. Irene did not get lucky. Irene made the shot she was trying to make, and it was gorgeously executed.
Boy, so the girls are going to make the turn. Allie 12, Irene 5.
Yeah.
One disc.
One disc through 8 frames.
If it had the feel at the beginning that it was going to be down to the wire on both,
yeah,
it feels it even
especially
extra
so
special.
now. Yeah. Although it'll be interesting to see because both of the people in the lead are coming from the yellow side. Will they really be able to turn it on when they've got the black discs, or does the skill neutralize the advantage?
Great
for both
point.
sides?
I think that's the first time we've seen all week
that both
that
yellow
happened. Both.
sides are coming in on top. A few more shout outs.
Provided.
Yes.
That's provided that Clayton doesn't take the
keeps
lead.
it up, right.
Yeah, there's 6 points. They're still in their 8th frame here.
Right.
And he has the hammer, so Clayton could take the lead or not.
Here's a shout out from the Illinois Shuffleboard Association. Is proud of all of our members competing this week. For more information about ILSA and how you can support shuffleboard, visit illinoisshuffleboard.org. And the founding members of the Illinois Shuffleboard Association are an integral part, are fearless leaders of this broadcast, owners of Rec, which is a scoring shuffleboard, I think all league scoring platform, and Kevin Reedy, Trevor Hess, along with Stephanie Swain from St. Petersburg, and Teddy Waffles, who did some pre-production. Okay.
Hammer shot by Clayton. This will determine who takes the lead.
I should also
or
mention
return.
Chris Jufrey. A lot of questions about the spelling of his last name. We're pretty sure it's not Joffrey or Jeffrey. It's Jufrey, and he is the DP, I guess, really of this production. He is making it look beautiful, making us look beautiful. I mean, just look at us. We look great, Jim. We're really hanging in here.
Have you ever not looked great?
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere, Jim. Thank you. Okay, now they're going to switch. They're going to wipe down those scoreboards and give themselves a fresh start. Eight fresh frames here.
On that 8th frame, Clayton missed his hammer.
Got it, which would have been nice. It would have been nice coming into that with a missed hammer.
So Paul takes the lead at 29 to 23 as they make the turn.
Yep.
So he will be yellow. He will be 29. Clayton 23. On the other side, Irene playing yellow has 5.
Yep.
Allie has 12.
So both super close games, still really anybody's game.
One disc separates the head and the foot.
And
Exciting.
Yeah, truly an even match, and we've seen so many of those in this tournament because, you know, the people who are playing here, they love the game, they practice the game, they know the game, and they really are evenly matched a lot of the time. No easy matches here.
The players have the opportunity to shoot 4 practice discs,
Yeah,
which
that's
they're
what
doing
they're doing now.
And that they're looking for is the colored disc faster or slower.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking what is the drift on this side of the court. Does it move one way or the other? All these things are going through their mind as they practice.
They're also looking for kitchen speed. They want to see how deep and hard they have to throw it in order to get them in the kitchen, because in this kind of a match, you can't just trade hammers. You've got to do some fancy footwork.
How about a shout out to Bernard Borges?
How about one?
Shout out to Alice and Johanna. That's Bernard's daughter and wife back in
Cute.
Brazil. Who unfortunately couldn't be here with Bernard, but thanks to the promotion and publicity committee, they're watching him on YouTube.
Cute. He was also the host of the Brazilian World Championships a few years ago. Really fun.
2017. What an awesome
That was
time
a
we
great
had there.
time.
Phenomenal time.
Yeah, a lot of coconuts on the beach. Really got my fill. A lot of electrolytes before my
And a lot
my
of
matches.
coconuts are filled with cachaça, the
Yeah.
Brazilian drink.
I'm sure you figured that out, Jim.
Oh,
I'm as an internationally ranked athlete, I was going for the electrolytes, potassium.
The finely tuned
Hydration.
athlete that you are.
Yeah, last person picked in PE always. That's what I say. If I could do it, you could do it.
It was the only ISA event that I played in fully.
Really? And you did very well.
This is my 19th. And yeah, I had a really good experience. Bob Smith made an incredible shot to knock me out of the quarterfinals. But what a great experience it was. Oh,
That was my business partner at the Royal Palms, Jonathan Schnapp. You've seen some of his strategy. In the Brazilian tournament, he was fighting for 1 through 4, and he didn't clear. He stuck, and we've talked about how important it is to clear. He stuck on his last disc. He had it, and the guy replaced it and kitchened him, and he lost. He could have won the whole thing. He's currently, I think, undefeated, so he's going to be doing that again, and I guarantee you he'll make sure he doesn't stick this time.
another name that we'll hear for many, many years.
Many years.
Yes. And Bernard's little daughter is 2 years old and just priceless.
She's a cutie.
So shout out there to Bernard Borges, president of the Brazilian National Shuffleboard Association.
We should also give a shout out to producer Kenneth J. Buckwalter II. He is just helped make this broadcast possible. He plays in the league. He really has just been such an enthusiastic supporter of this broadcast, of his teammates, of his home club, and everybody here is super grateful to Kenneth J. Buckwalter II. Great name, too. It's a great name.
Ken's one of those guys that is kind of behind the scenes, but makes everything work.
Yeah, it makes it happen.
Without those people behind the scenes, this event is not near the success that it has been all week.
Molecular Media, also located here in St. Pete, has done a ton to make this broadcast happen. Almost all of the fancy behind-the-scenes equipment was supplied by them. You haven't seen any of this. It's so seamless. You don't see that fancy behind-the-scenes equipment. But boy, oh boy, it is fancy and behind the scenes.
So not only are a lot of the volunteers behind the scenes doing the work, but the equipment.
From Molecular Media, also fancy.
So they've had their practice.
Yep.
They've learned a little bit about how their discs run, how the court drifts. Now they're on to frame number 9. The girls are still playing the board.
Yep. Getting out there.
Got 2 discs. Nothing cleared yet. Irene is looking at her options. Do I try to get behind them?
As we've said before, yellow always goes out first on the first frame of a shuffleboard match, and then black goes out. You're often playing 4 people across from your partner and next to your opponent. So the first side goes yellow, and then across the way goes black. So there's an even number of hammers.
A lot of people remember yellow is odd. Remember
Yellow
that term. Yellow is odd.
Is odd.
Because every odd frame will be yellow. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9.
Oh.
So if you
That's a good one.
If you kind of burn that in your brain, yellow is odd.
Yellow is sort of odd. I mean, as a color, is there a more odd color than yellow? Really? You know? Red, blue, green, they're kind of popular kids. Orange is off doing something very eccentric. Yellow, trying to make it work. A little odd.
I guess you could turn that around and say, oh, look at this. She's doing the do-re-mi shot.
Okay.
But not enough pace.
Not enough pace. And
However,
does Irene go to hide it here? It's pretty hard to get to. She's going to just try to knock and stick, or you think she's going to try to kitchen it?
She's looking hard at both options. She's looking hard at the option of knocking the 7 out, which is dangerous.
Yep.
You know,
She could just roll and knock hers out. Or does she try to score on the other side?
Exactly, and protect that 7.
And give Allie
She doesn't have the hammer.
options to. Right. But she's going to make it. If she does score on that other side, she makes it hard for Allie to score.
She could put a disc right in the middle, build a wall, and just accept a 7-7.
Right. And say, I've stolen her hammer, that's as much as I can ask for here.
Yeah, Allie, of course, has one more disc and could score on the other side, but that doesn't mean we've seen it all week long. Just because you have an open board doesn't mean you're going to score.
Do it. Although, as we've already seen from Allie, she's pretty consistent. Okay, she's changed her tactic, moving her to the 4 position. Nope, sorry. Moving back to the 1 position. Sometimes you got to try out a couple things.
She's back to the 1 position.
Beep, 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 beep. Really unsure here about what to do. And we've talked about this. You've got to have a plan going in.
But I like the fact that she's unsure, so she backs away, and she's really going to think about it.
Yeah, it's not a race. This is not a speed game. This is a finesse game.
There's no pitch count.
Yep, there's nobody behind you like mini golf. I guess regular golf, too. Oh, okay. Going to try to stick. Lands on the line.
Well, but she effectively has blocked it.
Yep, and it's kind of a double stuff there. You know,
Yep.
if Allie tries to hide, it's close enough that if Allie tries to knock out one, it's very likely that yellow middle one will stay.
I think
and
Irene
stick. She's going for it
that.
anyway in a gentle way, thinking, well, maybe I could be an agent of chaos. Nope, I'll just take an 8, an easy 8.
And look at the confidence that Allie had that she wouldn't hit that other disc.
Yeah, she just knew exactly just that touch is, She is a sexy player. She is making moves. Okay, back to these boys.
This will be the first on the new color.
Little fist bump.
For Clayton and Paul to play on the new color. Paul.
And it is traditional that when you do start a match, you shake hands, and when you turn the colors, you shake hands. And usually somebody says, let's have fun. But depending on how much they want to win, they put a little a little more spin on that and shake it maybe a little harder than they meant to. Let's have fun.
And during the big break, a lot of it went to the fist bump.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That, and that's kind of carried over.
And that's stuck. Yeah, fist bump. I like that you're calling it the break now, too. That's good, Jim.
I learned that from the best.
Just trading here. They're playing a clearing game. A little wimpier, frankly. They're not messing around. They're just not giving each other a chance to do much. Just put them out, knock them down.
And I think some of that is because it's a new color. You
Feeling
don't
it
have the
out.
feel yet.
Yeah.
Maybe when in the 3 or 4 frames down the road, you might see.
Ooh. What you don't want to do is stick.
What you don't want to do is stick, and Clayton's been quite effective in not sticking.
But
not on that one.
He's got the hammer, so if Paul does some damage, he'll have a chance to mend some fences. No, that's not what I mean to say. He'll have a shot to fix something if it breaks, but
Paul is going for kitchen speed.
Nice little roll there. Doesn't quite get it.
Nope.
Okay. Clayton's got his hammer. Just needs to score.
He loves the 8.
And does it get there? Does not.
Does not.
And that is a disappointment for Clayton. Got to score those hammers, especially in a game that's going to be this close and this evenly matched. You can't choke on your hammer. Also, it'll probably be hard for your teeth.
So we're now into the 10th frame. Allie will start off. Irene will have the hammer. Irene has a 15-point deficit. But with the hammer, she's thinking, okay, if I get 8.
Doable. Nobody's so far down at this point.
Not at all.
There's no hopelessness here. It's everybody's game, and everybody knows it.
At the foot, we've got a 29 to 23 score.
And not even a disc. And what is the score for Allie and Irene?
It's a 12-27.
12 yellow,
12 yellow.
27 black. Ugh.
Allie, once again,
Just
if
good.
there's a
Look
mistake
at that
made,
block. Look at that block.
she just used it.
Ugh. Just gorgeous.
Irene should be thinking as one of her real options to clear that block.
And she does. Do you think that's what she was trying to do? I think she was trying to get to Allie's and knock it out.
And sometimes it's that strategy if I try to go for it,
and miss.
err on the right,
side.
at least
Yep.
I accomplish the goal of getting the block out of the way.
And Allie says, no problem, I'll just put another one up. That's fine, exactly where I need to. Uh-oh, we just lost power.
Well, it looks like we lost power for about 2 minutes, and we skipped half a frame on the head and half a frame on the foot, but we're headed right back in. It's like we never left.
Okay, Paul's just clearing here. He's got the hammer. He'd rather just score his hammer at this point, confident enough in his own accuracy to do that. And Clayton is going for an 8, a deep something. And Paul has a pretty open board. He's just going to probably go on the other side there. Try to make it.
He's going to slide into that 7.
Yeah, he'll take it.
Good use of his hammer.
Yep. Slow and steady here on that side. A little less fireworks, I feel like, than the Allie and Irene game. They're taking some more risks.
We've seen it all week, and we've talked about this. The 7 area, the square inches, is far superior than the 8.
Yeah, It's right. It's all about percentages. They say that the 10 is a sucker bet. We saw an incredible player earlier today continue to try to make a 10, and it messed her up.
And Clayton, we've seen, has tried for the 8 on his hammer. Paul consistently, I think, has gone for the 7. Now that 1 point difference could mean a lot.
It's true.
But because the 8 is a smaller area, Clayton's missed a few hammers that he normally would hit. Here's a good kitchen speed. I think she got her.
It's in there. Oh, wow.
Irene got her in the kitchen. She did not roll.
Nope.
But
and
that
Allie
just can be
get it.
used. Allie has to clear this one.
She definitely does. She doesn't want to stick, and she doesn't.
Right, and now she can try to double this one.
Right, she had no choice but to leave that very dangerous disc.
Yeah, normally she
board.
wouldn't want that on
She
the board.
wouldn't have wanted Irene to have access to that one, but she had no choice but to clear her hammer.
Irene is trying to think, do I bump it or do I try to split it? She's going for the bump.
Which doesn't work out for her.
Doesn't work out, but she's still got 2 discs out there that can be utilized.
Yep.
Allie takes care
Allie's
of one
just
of them.
knocking them out. But leaves herself. Probably didn't want to leave herself there. It's an example of sticking.
I think Irene has kitchen on the mind.
Yep.
Good speed.
Not enough, but gives herself an 8 that Allie can easily replace.
Allie's a very deliberate player. When she steps up, she knows exactly what she's going to do.
And you could just feel her focus. Wow.
And just
What a touch.
Put her on the line.
Yeah, just exactly got what she needed and didn't give anything away in the process. That
And
was
scores 8.
beautiful. Yeah, that's what I mean. She scored her hammer. She tipped her out, and a lesser player would have given her an 8 in the process, given Irene a 7 in the process. She knew
Allie's
exactly
taking
what she had
advantage
to
of the
do.
black side. She has really increased the lead.
Yep, she's taken advantage of that advantage. She's taken advantage of that advantage. Paul's
Conversely, on the other side, the yellow continues to do better.
Sorry, that was Clayton doing a clearing game. Paul not taking the Tampa. Trying to decide what to do here. Hoping to roll.
Clayton is down 13 points. I think you'll see him be a little more aggressive.
Making some more trick shots here to try to.
Earlier in the match, he would clear that.
Right.
But now I think he's going to try to get behind it. He's going to try to be aggressive. He needs,
go down
he needs some
suicide
points.
alley, and he does it.
Does it, but he was too far to the right.
Yep.
He
Paul
would
can
have
see
been.
that.
This is a classic example. If Paul clears this effectively, Clayton will remember, oh, I need to be a little more to the left.
Yep. This is a nerve-wracking shot because you can see it, but it's still in a.
Paul's going for the jugular with
wow. Keeping it, trying to get in the
roll.
kitchen, still not behind, and now Clayton might try the same thing.
Clayton, I would think, would try to use that as a backstop.
Try to throw it in the kitchen if he can,
Try
and
to
take
kitchen
that
him.
7.
And try to get a little bit of a roll so he's really, really behind that other disc.
On Paul's hammer. Oh, misses it. Phew. Oh, it's not Paul's hammer.
The
It's
drift got him.
not Paul's hammer.
The drift got him there.
Yeah, I mean, that was almost a beautiful shot in a bunch of ways, and then it could have gone real wrong, and instead it went nowhere. Paul trying to bump the 10. I don't know what he's doing there, but gave Clayton a clear.
We've seen
path
Clayton.
to
He loves
his
that 8 on the
hammer.
right,
Yeah.
and it's open.
He knows how to get there, and
He takes it.
does.
It's just
Sure. Happy to have it.
that's somebody who remembered last time I was short.
Yep.
The last 2 times I was short.
Yep.
I'm going to go a little deeper.
it's true. Making those tiny, tiny adjustments and remembering to make them makes a big difference.
It's a good point when you say remembering. In the ISA, you're not allowed to chart.
Right.
Many tournaments you can come out here and you can write the drift down, but in the ISA they don't allow that. You have to remember your own court. And people ask me, why is that done? And it's mostly because it would be too much of an unfair advantage to the home people.
Right. And they've already got an advantage. We've talked about this before. Everywhere in the world, really, the court conditions are different. You know, in the West, they use a diamond finish, which is almost like a polished, like a terrazzo. You know, it's like a marbly finish, very, very, very slick. Down here in Florida, they use the silicone beads, sometimes embedded in the courts. Up at our clubs in Chicago and New York, we don't use any beads, so it's a hard push because we got drunk people and high heels. But the people down here, this is the speed of the courts they're used to playing on, and they have less of a need to adjust their game.
Okay, Irina's getting aggressive because she's down.
She's got to.
And she makes a beautiful 7.
Really, really nice. Allie's got to clear that block. What does she do there? Or she's, yeah. Clears the block. Oh.
But she
didn't take that on.
She's going to give Irina a little opening here. She's down 12 to 43. She does have this hammer. She'd love to score 1.
Yep.
She needs to score 1, but she'd love to score 2
and here
with
she
her
has
hammer.
It. Yeah, she's got 2 on the board. Allie, does she think she can get them both?
She's going for happy hour.
2 for 1. Let's see, can she do it? She's gonna knock that one. Oh, doesn't make it, but takes an 8. Now Irene's gotta take that out without messing up her
I think
score.
this is a real big shot for Irene on this match.
You think she's going to try to kitchen, or you think she's just going to try to take it and double her score?
I think she definitely wants to double, but she wants to be careful she doesn't hit her own.
Oh. Didn't get to maximize on it. Still got a 7 on her hammer, and she'll take that 7.
Yeah, she reduced the deficit a little bit, but she would have liked to have gotten that 8.
Yeah.
Yep.
While we're here, let's just give a shout out to the camera crew.
Oh.
Making us look good.
What a job.
Wes Pratt, Matt Whiteman, Chris Jufrey, Jeff Scalaro, and Stan Harhalos. The camera crew. And Jason. I think Jason was supposed to be here, maybe didn't make it. Thanks anyway, Jason. Thanks for wanting to be here, I think. Okay, we're back. Paul's put up a Tampa for himself, which is just usually people favor a St. Pete. I find that most players start with a St. Pete, and if they get a Tampa by accident, they'll take it. But do you find that that's the case, that the St. Pete is utilized more than the Tampa?
I think on these courts, because there's not a lot of drift, some of the courts where there's a lot of drift, a Tampa is more effective.
Yep. That was the case for me when I had my best ISA ever. I had this gorgeous little swoop that was happening that I could just swoop right around, and I couldn't miss it. If I hit it in the right spot, it would just go behind anything and right into the 8 every time.
Yeah, certain players do not like drift. Others embrace it.
I am a big fan.
Clayton
Okay.
is trying a 1 in a million shot.
And got it.
And pulled it off.
Wow. Beautiful hide. Paul is going to try to get it, and I think that's probably not the right move here because it's toughy and it's pretty deep.
And he may
He's
try to
gonna go
just
for it.
score to the left of it
And just try to get
and
in
use
there.
the block.
Yeah. Let's see.
Let's see what his mindset is.
He's trying to go for it, and I think he's going to get it, but he might.
Not only that, but he catches it.
Wow. Wowie zowie. That was a
They're
beaut.
these guys are trading great
Yeah.
shots for great shots.
Yeah, that was pretty great. He's going to try to get that out, and he does. Nice clear. Leaves the board for Paul.
Paul has a 5-point lead currently.
Wants to try to widen that if he can. Certainly not a comfortable lead against.
We would call that
This
a one-disc
ferocious.
lead, and he's trying to make it a two-disc advantage.
Yeah.
And he
And he
consistently
does.
goes for the 7. We've seen that.
Again,
Paul
he,
goes for the 7.
well, he probably goes for the 8 and then, you know, is okay with the 7. And again, because he probably plays a harder game in New York, he's happy. Even with his adjustment, it's probably a little harder of a touch, I would guess.
So he takes a 12-point advantage. There are still 4 frames to go, so there's
Yep.
lots
And
of
Clayton's got the black discs. so
anything can
it's-
happen.
It's true. On this side, Irene's
Allie's
going
taking
on the board.
Allie's taking a control of this match,
Yep.
and she has the hammer. And as good a player as Allie is, she's probably not going to leave too much on the board.
No. Oh.
And there she leaves one on the board.
Accidentally. She didn't mean to do that. Irene's going to try to capitalize, to be sure. Okay, well, hopefully oh,
Came up a little bit
Yeah.
short. It can be used later on.
totally. Bump that. Maybe that's a little Debbie. When you leave for later, a little snack for later. Oh, Allie.
Going for the jugular with a kitchen attempt.
And also saying, I'm not leaving you a snack for later.
I wonder if Ali would like to bounce off that one black.
And roll in from the
Roll
even
roll
on
into
the
the
8.
8.
And roll into the 8. See? Going a little.
Which would be, she tried it, but a little too
Oh
much
no, but
pace.
she's still got a nice 7 there. Although
Yeah, on the
Allie
other
can
side,
just
yeah.
tap that right out.
With a little less pace,
Yeah.
she could have kept behind the hide.
Allie's going to keep that 7. Make Irene shoot for it
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that Ali kept that on the board.
because it gave Irene a chance to kitchen her. Oh,
They're trading 7s here.
and giving Allie something to aim for, which we've talked about before. Actually, much easier to have something to replace than to just leave
Oh,
yourself
she's gonna-
available for. Oh,
With 7-7 there.
yeah, she meant to go a little bit harder. And again, that was unnecessary. She could have just cleared and stuck and not risked giving her the point, but she thought she could kitchen her.
Yeah,
And
but
so
she retains a 24-point advantage.
Yep, yep. But she's probably going, ooh, that was a mistake. I should have just not tried to get fancy and take my point. Instead, she neutralized it. Paul putting out a St. Pete.
$12-point advantage for Paul at this point with 4 frames to go.
Interesting move by Clayton. Going on the board, not getting rid of Paul's pilot.
He's 2 discs down, 4 frames to go. Paul's going to try to roll that to the right, but didn't get the roll.
I like that little Twinkle Toes Flintstone thing you just did, a little sassy kick. Which I bet he didn't even notice he did. Like, I think you just,
I've seen it in the Olympics,
really?
but never on the shuffleboard. Our first Ronstadt.
Our first Ronstadt. We don't see a lot of these in these big matches.
No,
Is that one good? Is that 7, or is that 8 good? Can't tell. Yeah, we're getting some nods from around us. That's a good 8. Paul's going to try to protect it. He does.
that's a
little close.
very, very good block.
Yeah.
He knows that Clayton has the hammer.
Going to try to
He's-
get both.
Whoa.
Wow. Wow.
Now, Paul has several options here.
Yeah.
He could try to block that left side of the board and just play defensively.
I think he's going to go for a.
Try to
was
sneak
thinking
one to
about it.
a deep
That's
right
what I
7.
thought.
He likes the 7s.
Yeah. I think he's going to go for the hide from where he's. Oh, I mean, I think he's going to go for a block here. I can't
Did
tell.
you try to sneak a 10 in behind that black?
That'd be nice. Maybe that's his move. Oh, yeah, that's what he's trying to do. But he might accidentally go awry. Oh,
He opened,
okay. Didn't give him the 10, but definitely gave him an opportunity
he opened
to
the board up a little bit,
and
though. Yeah.
he gave him a bonk.
And
He
we've
didn't bonk
seen,
himself into the 10 with what's left there.
We've seen Clayton make these 8s. And he does
And
so
he
again.
does it there. He's happy to get an 8 on his hammer. Nothing to sneeze at. And again, went for the higher percentage shot. He could have tried to bonk into the 10, but he knew he could make the 8, and he made it.
And he played his game,
Yeah.
which is the 8.
Which is what we've talked about, right? You stay on your game.
You know, he pulls within 4 points with still 3 frames to go. That's 1 disc.
Yeah.
So we thought these would come down to the wire and at least holding true on the 1 match.
Allie has been playing for 23 years. This is her 6th ISA. And we mentioned she won the whole Megillah in 2015 and brought home the golden cue. Where were we in 2015? Is that Clearwater?
She could do it again. You know, she's that good a player. She could be
I don't doubt
she could
it.
pull off a Glenna.
A Glenna Earl.
Earl.
The only shuffleboard player to be stashing 2 golden cues in her living room. Where do you think those we should have, Glenna, if you're watching, where do you keep those golden cues? Do you sleep with them? Just put them on the mantle? Where do they go? Do you play with them? No.
If you're Glenna Earl, you can play with anything.
That's true.
It could be
A toothpick, a little
yeah,
fondue fork.
I think she could beat me with a broomstick. Aggressive move by Irene, but very
beautiful.
effective.
Wow, what an incredibly executed shot there.
She's playing more aggressive. She's down 24.
Yeah. And it's true, you know, she's an amazing player, and Allie has been in control of this board the entire time. Oh,
Now,
are you kidding me right there? Are you kidding me with that
we
shot?
talked about shuffleboard is 5% luck.
Yeah.
That was the 5%.
I don't think that was luck at all. I think that Allie meant to do that.
Boy, boy, boy.
Wow. That is a breathless. That is an amazing shot. Breathless.
Do you think Irene is thinking about bumping her yellow into the black?
Looking like it. But, ooh, didn't get that done. Now, Allie's just going to protect here, or is she going to knock Irene out?
Boy,
Or
there's,
she,
there's so many options.
Yeah, I
Or
mean-
would she just score on the other side?
right, just give her a, well, yeah, because if she's right, otherwise, if she scores on the other side, Irene's got to go to take that 10 out,
Then she has to
which
have a
will
homer.
risks taking her own.
Mhm.
7 out,
That's right.
that really puts her in double jeopardy.
Or even knocking the black disc that's not good
Into
a good
7.
scoring
Yep,
position.
Yep. So I think that that's the move. Let's
This is
see
the
if
most I've
she
seen
thinks
Allie
that's the move.
Look
Think
at
about
a disc. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, right, it's a big decision. Let's see if she makes that
This could be the shot that wins or loses.
And she knows it. She's looking at the scoreboard. She's doing the math. How many discs ahead do I need to be to win this match? Not going for the shot we thought she was going to, just trying to protect that 10, and that is
A Fred Durst, and now this match could be turned around.
that was a deadly mistake.
This could be turned around so quickly. If she
Yep.
can knock this black out
And not mess with her 7.
and keep her 7, just tap it like Allie did
Yep,
that one, and
yep.
keep the 10, that's a 17-point swing. She's 1 disc away with the
Wow.
last hammer.
Wow. Okay, well, let's see if she can do it. That is, she also knows what an important move this is. It'll be interesting to look back and see if Allie regrets that decision. Oh, misses it. Oh, no.
Well-
I guess not. She's not going to regret that decision. That's where the 5% luck came in.
Now, Irene might look back
On that.
and regret that decision.
Yep. I guess that's where we went with that. Too bad, because that was a really strong, like a great opportunity for Irene that she gave herself, and then somehow it went south.
She lost 3 points, so it's now a 27-point lead for Allie. Well, the score was the score was incorrect.
Oh, yeah. What is the score now?
They made the adjustment.
Okay.
Because Allie did have that good 10 that they missed.
Oh, got it. And there's some rule, because I played in an ISA once where they mess up the score, and if the next disc is played, or the next frame starts, you can't change it. Is that what it is? You got to notice the mistake
I'm not
before.
aware of that.
Yeah, there was something where it was a mistake, but because the next disc had been played, they weren't able to adjust it.
Okay, Paul is going to play for his hammer. With 3 frames to go, Paul, playing yellow, knows that he has 2 of those hammers.
Clayton. Nice.
Playing aggressive and a
7.
very good shot. Clayton is down 4 points, but only has 1 of the 3 hammers left.
Paul's not taking chances, hitting them hard.
Now, you
Knocking
think
him
Clayton will try the same shot, but try to get a little more to the left?
I mean, what we've seen is that, oh, no, he's going pretty hard. Try to bump there? Oh,
Or kitchen?
that's interesting.
That would be a bold move.
Yeah, it wasn't clear enough path, I don't think, but he's a good enough player that if he saw it, he could do it. Paul saying, nah, never mind. I think I'll clear the board.
Paul is strictly playing for that hammer shot.
Yep. Nice 10, but a 10 that can be replaced.
They're calling it good.
Yep. Now, at this point, you just try to replace it. You don't get cute, right? Like, don't bother trying to make a kitchen shot here, right?
I think the correct play is just a tap.
A tap.
You use it as a background, backstop. You just tap it on the line.
And just hope it
And
goes
stick your
straight,
10.
and at best, it's, goes in the kitchen. Otherwise, it just stays and doesn't score. Okay, going for a tap right on the top. Nice.
And he
did it.
sticks the 10, and that
Beautiful
is
10.
a beautiful, beautiful
We call that putting the cherry on top there.
cherry on top. Well, I'll
Landed
tell you,
his cherry. Wow.
you can't get too complacent. There's still 2 frames to play.
Still 2 frames to play.
And a 14-point advantage. That's 2 discs.
Yeah, that's not enough
No.
with this caliber of player.
Right.
But you got to be feeling good that you're staying in it and good about your performance. All of these players should feel great about their performance so far.
Clayton knows he has the hammer coming up. If he could score, let's say, an 8 and a 7, take a 1-point advantage, he would like that.
Irene trying to bait Allie into coming down, hopefully sticking. She's
Yeah,
not
Allie
taking it.
took over the game when they made the switch to the black. It was right there, 1 and 2 discs away.
But we've seen it time and again. These black discs are just easier on the player.
And Paul is one of the rare that has taken advantage of the yellow.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here's an opening for Irene. Can she maximize? Can she make it work? Gonna try a little hard, I think, but oh
Things just not going.
no. And
Good for
we've talked
Irene.
about this before. We've talked about that shuffleboard player archetype that is very calm, cool, and collected. Just outstandingly nice, unsettlingly nice, and also enough of a focused perfectionist that when they start to make mistakes that they know that they are better than they have played, they start to get in their own head. Here, she delivers. Oh, 1 yellow. Almost really did something there.
She's about a ½ inch from kitchening.
Yeah,
Allie.
that's a heartbreaker. Okay, Allie coming in. A little soft. Stole Allie's hammer, which is never a bad thing. Never a bad thing.
Still
when
at
it's this
a
close.
30 to 60 lead. Allie's feeling pretty comfortable with 1 frame to go.
With 1 frame to go, it's going to be tough.
Now, on the other hand, this side,
Is it anybody's game?
anybody's game. Clayton has a 14-point deficit, but he has the hammer on this
Right.
frame.
So he can
He
really,
knows he needs to do something here.
Yeah. And
And he's playing a deep, deep 7,
he's
trying
done
to
that a
bait Paul.
bunch. And Paul knows better than to go after it. He's just going to clear.
He'll clear it and clear it with authority.
Yeah. Sending a message there. Don't bother with that shot, Clayton. I'm not falling for it. Got to get up pretty early in the morning. Oh,
Clayton.
look, Clayton's like, oh, really? I'm not getting that message.
He's
How about you try that again?
Saying, well, if you can do it again and again and again, well, then you'll beat me. But
This is like mystery shuffle theater.
you might make a mistake.
Yeah. Oh. That one almost went wrong.
Paul has to be a little careful
Is Clayton going to do it again? One more?
that he's not too hard and,
Oh, all right. He's
and
going to go
draws
for
the
an
ire
8.
of the tournament director.
Oh, no, he's getting on the line there. And he's got the hammer.
You've seen Paul like that 7.
Now Paul might be considering a bump. Nope, he's just clearing. Saying I'm not giving you a chance to mess with anything or have enough on the board
He's
to do
saying,
the
I want
math.
to. He's saying, I want to go into the last frame with the lead and
Yep.
the hammer.
Yep. And he's saying, right, he's like, I'll take my chances, let this guy make his own score.
A rare 8 miss for Clayton.
Yeah.
Rare.
When he really needed it, too. That was an important hammer to land. Now it is Paul's game to lose.
Yes, and Paul will go into a clear mode.
Yep. Because
But-
once you've done the math, after you've cleared a couple of discs, all hope is lost.
But we'll see if he's effective. If he doesn't clear,
If he makes a mistake, and Clayton is a good enough player that he'll be able to turn it around if he has the chance.
he'll take advantage of it and try for the kitchen game.
Yep. Allie just letting up a little bit. We've talked about this. This is such a game of sportsmanship and friendliness, especially here at the ISA when there's countries from all over the world coming together. You don't run up the score when you don't have to. When the math isn't there, you clear, you don't give them stuff, but you're not playing so ruthlessly when you don't have to.
And we've seen all the competitors here all week long. Whether they win or they lose, big hugs, big congratulations.
Yep.
And then the party always starts after the matches.
Aiming juice.
Aiming juice, aiming fluid.
I love it.
Aiming fluid.
Aiming fluid. Okay.
2 discs to go. There's no
Irene's got the hammer.
no path of victory for Irene.
Yeah,
Allie
Allie.
Enos continues her trek
Interesting.
in search of a second golden cue.
Wow, and just but blocks it. But even still, even if Irene scores both of these, there's no chance?
Can't score 30 points with 2 discs.
Nope, I guess not. Maybe finishes with a... All right, finishes with a 7. She'll take it. Hugs all around. And the audience shows their approval because it was a great
The
game.
fans go wild.
It was a great game, you know, and that's what you want to see here
Right.
at the ISA. Evenly matched players having a good time, making their shots. You want people to win. You don't want people to beat themselves, you know.
Clayton's going to play the board. If Paul can be effective and clear these discs,
Yep, he's only got to clear a couple. Doesn't want to leave any chance. Leave something on the board, but not
now,
anything Clayton can really do
I think
much
Clayton
with.
has to try that miracle shot to get behind this.
He's going for it. He's going for the deep 7, going hard. Does he get it?
Boy, he went real hard.
Too hard. Too hard. It felt
Past
like
the kitchen, everything.
Yeah.
It's a low percentage shot, but he has to take
He's
it.
got to take a high. He's got to hope. He's still got something in there. Now Paul's saying, I'm not leaving
Interesting,
a
taking his
block
own
on
off
the
the
board.
board.
Yeah.
That's somebody with experience.
That's somebody who's seeing his silent captain, doing the math, and saying, I've got to take enough discs off the board that there's not enough to work with.
Now, if Paul is effective in clearing this disc,
Oh. Interesting.
he would have won.
Uh-oh. So now is he going to double here?
The
Oh,
only-
gosh. Is Paul going to get himself into trouble accidentally? Nope.
Ah, okay, well,
I mean, still could here. I mean, he could kitchen himself, but he's
No, he
got
can
to.
throw that away,
Oh, he
yeah,
can throw it
yeah.
away. Phew.
so
Okay, phew.
a really good match. Yeah. Both players made some incredible
Yeah.
shots. I think Paul's consistency maybe won that match just because he made a couple of fewer errors than Clayton made.
Yeah, and was able to really play well on those yellow discs, which we haven't seen much in this tournament.
That might be the deciding factor of that match.
Yeah, really, he was able to do stuff that other people haven't been able to do
Right.
with those yellow discs. Well, that was an incredible match to watch. I mean, it is heating up here. We are about to go into the semifinals and the finals, so stick around for so much more good shuffleboard from the ISA, from the St. Pete Club. Keep shuffling.
See it in the finals.
Oh man, what great games. Let's go down to Ashley for the post-game interviews.
I'm here with Paul Assad. I want to like give you a high five or like, yeah. How do you feel?
Honestly, it's sort of, I don't know. I can't even describe how I'm feeling. I'm speechless.
I mean, I feel like you had him the whole time.
I mean, I think toward the end I was feeling a little bit better, but honestly, throughout the whole match, I felt like he was kind of like just stronger on his hammers and different things of that sort. And I just I took a couple of risks, but for the most part, just played a very risk-averse game and managed to squeak it out in the end.
It was so fun to watch. I mean, just beautiful shots from everybody, and you pulled it out, and now you're going for the big win.
I can't believe it. Hopefully, I can play well tomorrow.
How do you handle pressure? Are you like a high pressure guy? What do you do to calm yourself down?
Just breathing, just deep breaths, relax, shrug of the shoulders, anything to kind of just like reset and yeah.
Well, get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow's a big day.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm back here with Irene Hoffmans. Irene, that was a tough game all around.
Yes, it was very close in the beginning, the first half, but one could not make one mistake when you plays with her. I know this, and I think I want to have fun and to do what I can do, and if it works, it's okay. If it works not, then it's so this way. Perhaps a little bit. I would have it a little bit closer at the end. So I was working for it, not for winning only.
Yeah, and you made some really interesting shots.
And to test and train. It makes very much fun to play with her. You can learn many, and it is interesting at all.
Well, you played beautifully against a really tough opponent, and you stayed right in it.
I will do my very best.
You still got a lot of shuffling left.
Yes.
Okay, good luck. I'm back here with Allie Enos. Allie, last time I spoke to you, you played it all innocent. I said, people are afraid of you, and you're like, me? What could they possibly be afraid of? You're a terrifying woman.
Oh.
It was unbelievable playing.
Well, that's an example of not giving up. You get behind, you just hang in there and keep going. And the best player wins.
Well, you were undoubtedly the best player today, even though Irene really gave it her all. She played some great shots, but you made some shots that left us breathless. Jim Allen and I were like swooning in the booth. We were like, she is the sexiest player I have ever seen.
Oh my goodness. No, Irene I was afraid of her because I'll tell you what, she wasn't missing very much. She's a very good player.
Yeah, and we've said this a couple of times through this tournament. She didn't lose, you won, and really it was beautiful to watch you play.
When you're here, you're a winner, regardless. It doesn't matter where. You're here.
Well, now you're going for your second golden cue. What do you like? How do you like your odds?
Hey, just however it turns out. I don't give myself odds. I just come out and do the best, enjoy, and if I get it, that'll be great. If somebody else gets it, I'm happy for them.
Well, I am looking forward to seeing some more of your shots. It was so fun to watch you play, and I'm wishing you so much luck.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Ashley. Oh, what a heartbreaking loss for Irene.
Yes.
But luckily, she was one of the top 2 ladies in her group, so she is still going to be moving on to the semifinals. Why don't you go ahead and tell us who we can expect to see tomorrow morning in the semifinals?
Sure. For the women's, it will be Irene Hoffman versus Tyne Siebold.
Oh, a St. Pete player.
Yes.
Way to go.
Yeah. And Missy Keiko of the U.S., Royal Palms player, versus Ali Enos, also from the U.S.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Those are going to be really good games.
I think so, yeah. And for the men's, Paul Assad, also Royal Palms Brooklyn player, against Jonathan Schnapp of Royal Palms Brooklyn.
Oh, in Chicago.
In Chicago, player, yeah. And Torben Husmann from Germany and Michael Hirsch from the U.S.
Oh, wow. They've been playing since they were kids, both of them.
Yes, so that should be interesting to watch. They've been playing a long time.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we are not actually going to be showing the semifinals here. We're going to be live tomorrow at 1 p.m. is when we're going to start. The games start at 1:30. We will get the stream going around 1, and hopefully we'll pop in there sometime close to 1. It could be closer to 1:30. We don't know.
And we know we have a lot of Chicago players, so to make it clear, it's 1 Eastern Standard Time.
Right, Eastern Standard Time. Or daylight time. I don't know where we are. Sometime at 1, around 1. Anyway, so we will, like I said, we'll be live tomorrow. But before we go for the night, I want to go ahead and talk about a really fantastic shot that we saw in today's game. So in frame 13, Clayton Taylor had a disc on the board, and Paul Assad was able to knock that out and spin it into the kitchen, which while it wasn't super impactful to the game because Clayton was able to knock it out, that kind of thing can really kind of get you out of your mindset for playing. So I hate when that happens.
I mean, nobody likes to use a disc to knock something out of the kitchen because then you have one less disc to play with.
Yeah, everybody likes a good spin though.
Yeah.
Unless you're the player whose disc got spun.
Yes.
So let's take a look at that.
Paul is going to try to get it, and I think that's probably not the right move here because it's toughy and it's pretty deep.
And he may try to just score to the left of it.
And just try to get in
and use
there.
the block.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see what his mindset is.
He's trying to go for it, and I think he's going to get it, but he might.
Not only that, but he catches it.
Wow. Wowie zowie. That was a beaut.
These guys are trading great shots for great shots.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
And that's the Bacardi shot of the day. All right, so I think that's it for us tonight. We will see you guys tomorrow. Again, the stream's going to start at 1 Eastern time, and then the games will get started at 1:30. See you then.